Rising, grand rising, great awakening to the nation of Lelem, Lele, on this last day of the good year. Now, I'm about to say some stuff on this live. Hold on. I'm about to say some stuff on this live that might be a little triggering to hear, so let me give you a warning. So if y'all not ready to keep it gutter, if y'all not ready to talk real talk, then baby, get off this live, baby. Cause baby, I'm about to say some stuff that you might not agree with, Fefe. I'm about to say some stuff that you might not agree with, Fefe. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, maybe. I'm about to say some stuff that folks might not agree with in this video. And I'm letting you know it's okay not to agree, man. Because we ain't got to agree on everything. We ain't got to agree on everything, fat. Understand me? But we just need to get some clarity going into next year, going into the new year now. We just got to get some clarity going into the new year now. So I was watching this video because, that's what we've become, a civilization of watchers. They watching us and we done started watching. So now the watchers, so now the ones that was being watched is watching. Can I say something? The ones that was being watched is doing the watching. First we was the watchers. First we was the watchers. Now we being watched. Can I say something? So I was watching this video of this girl who went to this boy house, went to her boyfriend house. Make sure y'all click that like button when you're coming in. So she went to her boyfriend house. Turns out that her boyfriend, hey, 100% pure love, went to her boyfriend house, and turns out that the boyfriend was sleeping with a trans woman. Now I'm about to talk about multiple examples of beings who was born with different genitalia, boxing, beings who was born with other genitalia. But I want to let you know what inspired the video. So anyway, she gets into the house. Now I think two people was getting ready to I think the two boys was getting ready to have the trans person. I think they was getting ready to have the trans person. So anyway, the girlfriend who was born with the vagina went upstairs into the room, right, because that was just weird, huh? Went into the room and was like, started going off on the trans person, and I mean, just started putting hands on the trans person, just started beating, just started throwing bolos on the trans person. So the trans person did not want to just stand there and get them bolos, put up on her. So she started, boxing, the female down to the ground. I mean, putting them paws on the female. I mean, putting them bolos on the female. So, because I was born male, I was taught, not to put paws on females. But females were always putting their paws on me. They were always putting their hands on me. And what I'm not finna do is just sit around and let you beat my ass, just be a punching bag because you was born with a vagina. If you're not respecting yourself, why should I respect you? Clearly, you don't respect yourself if you're putting your hands on me? Clearly, you don't respect yourself. If you're putting your hands on me and you know that I'm supposed to be allegedly stronger than you, and I'm supposed to allegedly have more power than you physically, and you're putting your hands on me, clearly you don't respect yourself. So why should I have to respect you if you don't respect yourself? So you saw in the comment section, a lot of the females was saying, a lot of the women was saying, "Oh, he letting another man beat up on his old lady." Well, his old lady walked into the house, walked right past him, did not deal with him, and continued to jump on the trans person. His old lady should have dealt with him. What I would have done was, if I was born with a vagina and it was my man that was doing that foolishness, I would have went and got some of my men friends, some of my brothers or my cousins, and made them come put them paws on him. And I wouldn't have done anything to the trans person, because first of all, you don't know if the trans person knew he was with you. You don't know if the trans person knew about you. You don't know what the tea was. You don't know what was going on. You can't just run up in somebody's face and put your paws on them and think, what type of world will we live in if just because you was born with a vagina and you identified as a woman, you could go around and your feelings was hurt. You could just go around putting your paws on people and putting your hands on people, and nobody was allowed to defend themselves, because we can't defend ourselves because you was born with a vagina. You just could go around and beat up on people and just punch people in the face. And what we supposed to look at it like it's a mosquito bite? We supposed to just not be phased by it because your licks don't hurt because you was born with a vagina? It's not causing any pain. It's not inflicting any harm. Oh, I don't feel that. You got a vagina. Oh, you were born with a vagina. Those licks don't hurt. Those licks feel like butter. Those licks feel like cotton candy because you got a vagina. I don't even feel that because I'm so solid and hard and rough and masculine. I'm so rough and tumble. My body's so hard and masculine, and just I'm just so solid and just so hard and tough. I don't even feel that, girl. That feel like a mosquito bite, girl. You was born with a vagina. You don't have no power. You don't phase me. I don't feel that. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's realistic at all. I don't think that's realistic at all. Now, in the case of a man performing domestic violence, a man who has never taken testosterone, a man who has never taken estrogen, a man who is a fully functioning man who is just asserting power and asserting authority and asserting dominance and putting paws on a woman, to me, that's despicable and that is shameful to be, because I'm stronger than you, because I am a fully developed man who has never had any interference from estrogen. I am fully functioning. Like, to me, even a trans man, once he get full of that testosterone and he taking them testosterone shots all the time, if he just get mad and just go out and spaz out and start beating up on his old lady because now he's stronger than her, of course, unless depending on if she a bodybuilder or something like that, because we don't know what's going on with this other, female over here. We don't know if they are bodybuilders, so we have to take things into consideration. Size, what weight, is one of them, because you could be a cis woman and be a bodybuilder and work out and build up your strength. You know what I'm saying? So it's a case by case situation. But I think in some situations, a trans man, if he's taking testosterone and he's physically transitioning to become more masculine, I don't think it's the same as two women fighting. I don't think it's the same as two women fighting. So I think that there's a certain level of no, he's a trans man now. He's taking testosterone. He's lifting weights. He's developing his masculinity. He's developing his masculine side. He shouldn't just be getting mad and putting paws on this woman if this woman is not putting paws on him. But let's be clear. If you are putting paws, if paws are being put, and I'm saying this as a person who has been the abused and the abuser. I'm saying this as a person who's had bottom surgery, been filled with hormones, and was put my hands on niggas, and a part of me felt, like it was okay, like it was cool. Like I wasn't really thinking I was gonna get away with it because I was female, or because I was viewed as female, or because they saw me as a woman. A lot of times they did let me get away with it because they saw me as a woman, but that shit only worked for so long. Because after they got tired of taking them licks, they put them paws. Every dude I put hands on, it may have worked. I ain't gonna hit you because you my girlfriend. I ain't gonna hit you because you my girlfriend. But my licks was hurting. And they got tired of taking them licks. And baby, every last one of them that I put them paws on, eventually what goes around came around. And I got them paws put on me. And I wasn't sitting up there crying and calling the police, talking about some I'm a woman and I take hormones and I got a sex change and he put his hands on me. No. No. I took my beating. I took my beatings because I knew what I had did. I knew I started it. I knew what I did. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and try to hide behind my feminine privilege or try to hide behind my femininity like that excuses me from getting paws put on me when I've been putting paws on people. You can't go around here putting your hands on people and think that nobody not gonna put their hands on you. Keep your hands to yourself. If you don't want them paws put on you, don't put your paws on nobody. Keep your paws to yourself. Because I ain't gonna lie. I've had boyfriends that say some things to me and my trauma kick up. When they start, because they be respecting my pronouns and respecting me, how I see myself, and then when mad they come, they say some crazy stuff, and it's like, this person is your partner, and they saying this stuff to you. You could take it from the people on the streets, but when your partner say that shit to you, it hit different. So, it be like, forget the words, I don't want to talk, I want to fight. But you have to remember that you're fighting with a person who has not been taking hormones. You're fighting with a person who still has all their testosterone and all their male strength. And you, because you mad, you done forgot that you're at a disadvantage, and so you go to putting your paws on this man. Now, maybe your licks didn't hurt as bad and you thought he was going to let you get away with it because your licks didn't hurt, but your licks still hurt though. And more than anything, sometimes it hurt their pride. It hurt their self-esteem. It hurt it makes them feel weak because it's almost like you get in a pass to bully them because you're physically inferior to them. And that don't make that shit okay. They don't make that okay. Children at a certain age before they hit adolescence are physically inferior to their parents. But if your child walk up to you and slap the shit out of you, you gonna feel away. You gonna feel it. So it doesn't justify it. It's crazy because they feel they can put pause on trans women because they're feminine. But if you punch them back, you're wrong because they're born female. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I want to clear this up going into 2020 because the law, a lot of laws protect that, and I think that that's something that needs to be investigated. Like I don't think that um I think that fights are gonna happen, and I think it's okay for them to happen. But I don't think there should be a law that you were born male and you hit this female, and that makes it okay. Like I think if you are a man and you are initiating violence, if you identify with manhood, if you have been living your life as a man and you ain't had and you got testosterone, flowing freely in your body. And don't get me wrong, I think some trans women in some particular cases should not be putting their hands on females, if violence was not brought to you, because it's not the same scenario. It's not the same scenario of a female and another female getting into a fight. It's not the same thing as two cis women getting into a fight. And so I think that knowing that you have a physical advantage as a trans woman who is non-op, or who has not taken any hormones, or who has not had any hormone intervention, I think you have to know, okay, if this person is not trying to be physical with me, I'm not just going to be running up in there trying to throw my hands on them. Like have some common sense. Like I'm not fixing to be initiating violence. But I don't think you should be penalized for defending yourself if a female or a cis woman come and just start throwing hands on you. I don't think, because the video that I was watching, the trans woman was at first just trying to restrain her. She was trying to hold her, but the female was getting off licks. And so it's only so many licks you gonna take before you go to cutting the fuck up. And so I wanted to really briefly touch on that. Keep your hands to yourself. As someone who has contributed to violence, who has been a victim of violence, that's what I'm trying to practice in 2025. Keeping my hands to myself. If nobody ain't putting their hands on me, I ain't putting my hands on them. Now, and I will tell you, there's some hypocrisy that comes with what I'm saying, because at the same time, my sisters, I love them down to the ground. I think that they would be more intelligent than to want to fight a trans person or something like that, like to go in and want to fight a trans woman. But if it was any type of male that was putting their hands on my sisters or one of my female cousins, I don't know how I feel. I could, maybe hypocrisy is real when it comes to your loved ones. When it comes to people you love, the hypocrisy is real. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Bitch, I'm sitting up here saying all this shit right now, but if it was one of my sisters, and I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying how I feel is right. I'm just saying it's how I feel. All that shit could go out the window. But the bottom line is, learn how to keep your hands to yourself, and we won't be in these situations. And don't take it out on that person. Take it out on your partner. Take it out on, the one you with. Now, I said I wanted to talk about culture, and I want to go into this. I have been alluding to this a little bit in videos, and I haven't, like in little video clips, but I haven't went fully all the way into it. I'm finna use Beyonce and the Tyler Perry movie for a second to delve into some questions that I have about black culture moving forward in the new year. Just some things I'm trying to understand about black culture as we get ready to enter the Donald Trump regime. Um, and yes, I know I said a regime because that's what it's given from me with him and Elon Musty, but I mean Musk. You know, as we get ready to enter into this era, um, I just want to have, like, I want people to understand that a lot of people, and this is not me putting Beyonce down. I am not diminishing Beyonce's hard work. I am not diminishing Tyler Perry's hard work. I am not diminishing Oprah Winfrey's hard work. I am not diminishing what they have done to build their brands and to amass wealth and success. But I am merely having a conversation that causes us to look at a bigger picture. That is my intention. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't read too much into it. It's not that deep. Now, I said that Beyonce could go and take a crap in the middle of the stage and people would be pontificating about how it was something to uplift black culture. And some people got in their feelings because I said that, but where's the lie? I think at some point, if we're really concerned about liberation, if we're really concerned about freedom for ourselves, if we're really concerned about opportunities for ourselves, we have to ask ourselves, how much energy do we really need to be investing in people who already are worth billions? Because it's clear that their politics are just to amass enough wealth to make sure that they good. Like, people will say all the time, okay, Beyonce is acknowledging African culture. Okay, there's two parts to that. Beyonce did the Black is King movie. If you notice it, she did it during the pandemic. She released that project during the pandemic, and in Africa, Africa wasn't being impacted by Corona like America was being impacted by Corona. They weren't under the ban, like they wasn't as restricted and locked in. And you have to also think about it. It's cheaper wages that you can pay people in Africa. So y'all looking at it as she paying tribute to Africa. I'm also seeing the other side of this. She was saving a coin. She was she say the nasty coin. She was saving a nasty coin during the period that she did that. It was perfect timing. It saved her a lovely ass coin, and so it wasn't just about paying tribute. It was about saving a coin. Also, just because somebody pays tribute to you, like paying tribute to the LGBT community, because she will give the LGBT her props, and she will create an opportunity for LGBT people to be employed by her, to work for her, and to benefit from her financially. But does that mean that she's going to let you come sit at her table and eat with her? Does that mean that she's going to view your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions, and your beliefs in the same manner that she's going to view her own? Like, does that mean that she really going to sit with you and hear you? Like, I'm not going to bring the girl name up in this video because I'm not being messy, but I brought the name up before. I've argued with her on this live before, so you know I don't mind talking about it. But we've seen in our own community as black trans women how some of us will profit off of girls' names and pay tribute to girls' names that we wouldn't piss on if they was on fire, if they were alive. So just because someone is willing to pay tribute to you for the purpose of capitalizing off of you, it does not mean that they really respect you. It does not really mean that they value your opinion. It does not mean that they really care about you because they're willing to throw you a breadcrumb. It's actually very smart. This is an opportunity for me to capitalize. I'm going to pay tribute to you. I'm going to acknowledge you, and I'm going to win you over as a fan. But that doesn't mean that I really see it for you. That doesn't really mean that you can sit at my table. That doesn't really mean that I value you. That means that I value your money. I value your product. I value you buying my products. So I'm going to throw a dog a bone. I'm going to give you some breadcrumbs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I respect you or I see it for you. And a lot of y'all get it twisted because there's some acknowledgement happening. Just simple acknowledgement is enough. At this point, we need to know what your politics are, what you believe, and we need to see who would be a part of your council. What type of people would be a part of your council? If you're a queen, what would be your court? What would your court look like? Because we don't know that. We don't know that about her. We know she'll do a tribute album. We know she will acknowledge. And that's cute. That's real cute. But I personally need a little bit more than that. In order for me to be sitting back pontificating about how this is for the culture and how this has expanded the culture. And I was telling one of my friends today, they was like, oh yeah, but she's not really palpable to white people anymore. And I'm like, yes, she is. White people still defend Beyonce just as much as they used to. The ones that were really racist, that never really liked her to begin with, when she started taking up country spaces, when she came into the country arena, they was like, okay, now girl, you taking up too much space. This is for us. This is for us rednecks. This was sacred to us rednecks. And don't get me wrong, I do understand that black people dominated everything in the beginning and that a lot of things are birthed from us. But for some reason, the white population has continued to grow. And so does that mean that they're not allowed to have spaces? Because this is how I feel about Caucasian people. If I had to choose between a black person, so I'm gonna use this for example because I want to be clear. Say we talking about Francis Thompson legacy, or we talking about Marsha P. Johnson legacy, or even my legacy. Now, I would love for a deeply melanated person to be the being that carried on my legacy, to be one of the main forces in carrying on my legacy. But if it is a being that is going to carry on my legacy just because they have melanin and it's going to be respected simply because they black, oh, they black, and they're carrying on my legacy and they're carrying it into a direction that has nothing to do with what I stood for. They're upholding elitism and imperialism and they are conforming to mainstream in order to get ahead, but it's gonna be accepted because they black and they're creating other opportunities for black elitist gatekeepers. That's okay because they're black. That's acceptable because they're black. If I had to choose between that or a non-black person, a non-black person who sincerely was indebted to equality and equity and genuinely cared for the work that I was doing, genuinely understood my platform and my message and rocked with me in life and when I left, if I had to choose between my legacy going to a black person who was going to make my shit about elitism, who was going to make my shit about capitalism, and who never would have fucked with me in real life, and a non-black person who fucked with me in real life, who was supportive, who stood by me through thick and thin, 10 toes down, ready to ride, I would rather for a Caucasian or non-black person to take over the legacy than a black person who was going to take my legacy and do some shit that totally went against everything that I stood for. All skin folk is not kin folks. And that's where y'all get me. That's where y'all get me bent when y'all start talking about I'm only concerned about black people. Because if your black ain't talking like my black, then you ain't my black. If your black ain't sounding like my black, I don't give a damn about your skin color. Now, ideally, it would make me proud and it would make me happy if someone that looked like me with this type of nose, with these type of lips, with kinky hair, ideally, it would make me happy if that was the being that was carrying on my legacy. But if you are going to take my legacy in a direction that totally goes against what I stood for, like what y'all did with Jesus, like what y'all doing with Marsha P. Johnson, if you're going to take my work and take it in a totally different direction and it's going to be acceptable because you got melanin, fuck that. No. 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 And when you learn that, you understand how slavery happened. You understand how patriarchy continues to stand. You understand how classism continues to stand because it's these same black people who out here saying all this stuff are the main ones who upholding the very things that are keeping us in bondage. Code switching needs to be done away with. Code switching is a problem. I used to be a person that code switched. I do not. That's why I've worked on my language so that I can always be authentic. If I cannot talk, if I can't talk around a Caucasian person the same way I could talk around black people, I don't need to be around this Caucasian person. I don't need to be around this non-black person. If I gotta walk on eggshells around you, I'm in the wrong fucking room. If I gotta tiptoe around you with my words, I'm in the wrong room. And if a black person is having that expectation of me to code switch, then you already let me know what type of time you on and who you really is. Cause the same way you code switching with them white folks, you code switching with me. I don't know. Will the real you please stand up? Code switching. We did code switching during slavery times. Y'all constantly saying slavery has ended. Well, why the fuck y'all still code switching? Why are you still code switching if slavery is over with? Slavery ended how many decades ago? And y'all still code switching? Child, make that make sense. Then y'all try to hide up under the guise that it's professionalism. That you're being professional. No, you're being prophonial. You're being a phony. That's what you're being. And in 2025, I'm not going to be in spaces where I have to carefully curate every word that comes out of my mouth, because if I do, I'm in the wrong space. I'm in a space that is not sensitive to my art, that is not sensitive to my creativity. And a lot of y'all speak about Beyonce from a perspective, but you're not a creator. You're not an artist. So when I speak about Beyonce and when I speak about her impact, when I speak about Tyler Perry and I speak about his impact, I'm speaking about it from the standpoint of a person who is a creator, from the standpoint of a person who is an artist, from a person who is deeply rooted in their negritude and in my full origin story. Not just the story that connects me to elitists and politicians and black people who participated in society and considered to be upstanding and high moral and high quality. But no, baby, the savages, the indigenous, the homeless. Yeah, I'm an avatar for all that. All of that is carefully crafted into my DNA, and I'm going to celebrate all of it. I'm not going to erase any of it. And some black people, we have curated this avatar and this expression of ourselves that disrespectfully excludes parts of our experience that you have deemed unnecessary or undervalued or unworthy. And it's because you have been duped into looking at yourself through a colonial, patriarchal, westernized, white supremacist lens. You've been tricked into erasing parts of your identity, your community, looking down on it, looking down your nose at it, belittling it, shaming it. Oh, that's ratchet. Oh, that's ghetto. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, that's loud. Oh, that's common. Oh, that's heathenist. Oh, that's this. That's debauchery. Oh, that's this. You have allowed yourself to be duped into looking at things the way your colonizer looks at them. And so you are shaming parts of yourself. But when I tell you this avatar right here, I'm a whole space for all of it. I'm a whole space for the ratchet, the ghetto, the loud, the common, the classy, the bougie, the professional, the spiritual, the religious, all of it. I'm not erasing none of it. And more of us as deeply melanated people need to remember wholeness. We need to remember who we are. And that is our culture. Not, oh, I get to be celebrated because Beyonce gets to get away with doing certain things because every time you look around, Beyonce has had to forfeit a lot of who she is in order to amass the position that she has. Beyonce got to stay out the sun. We know that because if you look at old pictures of her, Beyonce has gotten lighter. And it's not necessarily that Beyonce is bleaching, but it's that Beyonce is wealthy enough to where she don't really have to be out in the sun. That bitch is worth $1 billion. That bitch is a prized possession right now. That bitch That bitch could have people following her with an umbrella. I don't think that bitch had to bleach. I think that she has been able to avoid the sun, though. Her resources have afforded her the opportunity to effortlessly dodge the sun. She's had to stay out of the sun, and them wigs have had to keep getting lighter. That hair done got lighter. And now they got this bitch waving the flag. They got this bitch holding the symbol of our oppression. On a horse, on a white horse with some white hair holding the flag. Looking like the Statue of Liberty. And y'all call her queen, but she remind me so much of Queen Elizabeth because Queen Elizabeth had the influence. Queen Elizabeth gave you the look and the spectacle. You know, when she walked in, you saw the diamonds and the jewels and the flash. You know, but Queen Elizabeth didn't have no power. Parliament was making all the decisions. It was still white men running around with motherfucking white wigs on, making all the decisions. And so even though Beyonce is black and she married a black man and her children are black, I'm sure that the people around her, like the money bracket she in, she's not looking at no whole bunch of, she's not sitting in a room with a bunch of black people. Black people work for her. But let's be clear, Beyonce's brand belongs to America. And America is Uncle Sam is not black. Beyonce is an American brand. Beyonce is an American treasure. And America is not run by black people. Tell whatever story you want to tell. Paint whatever picture you want to paint. Uncle Sam is not black. Y'all talk about black millionaires and black money and black this and black power and black this and black that. And at the end of the day, all of y'all got to answer to Uncle Sam. And Uncle Sam is not black. Until that is changed, all of this amassing resources and wealth, Diddy already proved you can make as much money as you want, you can get to the top. And ain't no way in the world you get into $1 billion status and you not doing no corrupt stuff. You not doing no stuff that's questionable. You not doing no stuff that could get you in trouble. That's why Rihanna went and made her a bunch of babies and sit her ass down somewhere. Ain't no way in the world you get into that status and you ain't done no stuff where they could knock you out the sky whenever they get ready to do it. Ain't no way you done got there without having to do some shady stuff. Ain't no way you done got that much money. And at the end of the day, the people that's coming for you, they not people that look like you. They not people that look like you. When they come for you, it's not going to be the people that look like you. And so you have to ask yourself, what is all of it for? Was the compromise worth it? Was it worth you compromising your physical appearance? Because if it wasn't for the fact, Beyonce to me reminds me of Obama in a sense. Because even though Beyonce had 2 black parents, she's racially ambiguous enough that if she would have married a white man, I don't think that the black community will ride for her like they ride for her. So it was very smart of her to partner herself with someone that looked like Jay-Z. Just like it was smart of Obama to partner himself with Michelle Obama. Let's play the whole tape. If Beyonce would have married a white man 10, 15 years ago instead of marrying Jay-Z, we wouldn't be out here talking about every time Beyonce do something. We wouldn't be around here talking about she did that for the culture. We wouldn't be around here. We wouldn't be around here giving all that. Look how y'all dragging Eve right now. Because Eve living her best life in Europe with her white billionaire husband. Talking about where her black family. She's been married to that man for 11 years. Now all of a sudden y'all worried about what she doing with this white man. And why her family wasn't there. Y'all dragging Eve on the internet. Talking about she look like she in a sunken place. Talking about it look like it's a scene from Get Out. Y'all dragging her. But Eve been with this man for years, and Eve has been more vocal. We know what Eve thinks. Eve have expressed her thoughts. She's done interviews. She's put people on. She created a whole production so that she could put girls on. Created a whole Eve done things that has clearly shown that she's still there for the black community and she's still invested to the black community, but y'all dragging her because she over there in Europe living her best life with her billionaire husband. But Beyonce royalty because she with Jay-Z. Oh, she did that. But what we're learning if we play the whole tape is that just because somebody got a big nose, just because somebody got big lips, just because somebody got kinky hair, doesn't mean they can't channel white values. Doesn't mean they can't channel colonial values. Baby, you could use your Negro appearance. You could use your negritude as a weapon to be an op. That's why I'm no longer feeling pressure to wear my kinky hair. I'm no longer feeling pressured to give y'all tribal and indigenous looks all the time. Because I know a lot of niggas that look like niggas. You is the biggest fucking ops. Y'all ops. Y'all use y'all melanin to infiltrate for massa. You come up in there with them dashikis on and them dreadlocks and them afros talking about black power this and black power that, and the whole while you harvesting information for the oppressor. Miss me with the bullshit. Something happened in between 4 and her self-titled. Some type of agreement was made. Right, cause nobody really paying attention to, like, Beyonce is a black Queen Elizabeth. She's a black Queen Elizabeth. That bitch has international influence, but she don't have power. She ain't making no fucking laws. She ain't changing no rules. She have international influence. See, y'all have to understand that there's levels. And a lot of y'all mistake influence for leadership. A lot of y'all think that influencers are leaders. Beyonce, y'all call Beyonce a queen. A queen is supposed to be a leader. But because your ideas of what it means to be a queen has been distorted by the programming that we got from Queen Elizabeth, because in Queen Elizabeth's last decades, she was not a political leader. She was an influencer. She had no power to create laws. She had no power to change society. She was an influencer. That's it. And so now y'all done reduced the title queen to become a title of influence, but having no political power to create actual tangible change. That's why when y'all be calling me queen, I be like, okay, but it's Kaneen. I received the queens, but I know what queen has become. Queen has become a position of influence. It's become a mascot. It's become a symbol, but it holds no power. Oh, she looks so pretty. Her performance was amazing. I felt that. She did that for the culture. But how is it elevating us or expanding us? How is it shifting? How is it abolishing or deconstructing? How is it disassembling? How is it decolonizing? Oh, okay. Yeah, tiers and hierarchy. Yeah. How is it doing any of those things? As a artist, as a creative, these are things that I'm looking at. Even with Tyler Perry, new the triple six. I haven't been able to pull myself to watch it yet. But how is it decolonizing? Before I even put it on, how is it helping to decolonize us? How is it helping to shift culture? Because at the end of the day, this is still a story about a bunch of black women who were in the military who still had to take orders from not only a black man, but a white man ultimately. Beyonce's position gives the illusion of femininity because it is a woman who is black enough, because we know it's some other stuff going on in their DNA. So we're going to say black enough. And she throws bones every now and then. She give a dog a bone. She do a little album for the gay community. Do a little dance for the Africans and put on a little paint. Meanwhile, the bulk of her content depicts her as racially ambiguous. The wax statues of her in museums depict her as racially ambiguous. But every now and then she gonna put on some face paint, put on a curly wig, and then she gonna turn around and say, yes, queen, and give somebody a spot on her album who in the community. Comfortable in my skin. And y'all going to throw money at her. Yet you confused about how slavery was able to last so long. You're confused about how our ancestors were able to be victims of having their power stripped from them, because initially it was consent. It starts with consent. A vampire has to ask for permission to come into your house. They show you that in all the movies. The vampire has to be invited in. You trust it enough, it gains your trust to be invited in. And once you invite it in, bitch, that's a wrap. And so a lot of us don't realize that we get just enough to invite the oppressor in, to invite the bloodsucker in, to invite the parasite in, to invite the leech in. She gives the she's an example of someone who gives the illusion of power, but her platform does not disrupt white supremacy or patriarchy. Beyonce been doing these albums. Beyonce made Flawless. Beyonce said how many years ago, bitch, when Hillary was running for office, Beyonce was talking about who run the world, girls, who run the world, girls, we run this mother. She said that how many years ago, and we still ain't had a female president. Because her example of womanhood, her example of femininity, you gotta, when you putting out content like that, you gotta be able to back that shit up with some interviews. You gotta be like, it's not authentically her. You know that there are writers behind her. There are voices behind her. Because if she was able to create like she created, and she was able to get in front of the camera, and she was able to pop the shit to match. See, the thing with me, and this is not me bragging or putting myself above anybody, but anytime I put out a music video, anytime I put out some art, anytime I put out a story, I'm going to get on live and I'm going to back up what I said. Ain't nobody wrote this for me. Ain't nobody told me how to stand. Ain't nobody told me how to move. Ain't nobody told me what to say. Wasn't nobody coaching me behind the scenes. This is 100% me. If she was responsible for all of the things that her platform expressed and said, she'll kill interviews. Because we know you ain't camera shy. She would kill interviews. Everything that she's performing, everything that she's saying is not authentically coming from her. It's being scripted and it's being curated. It's not her, all of it's not her authentic art. Beyonce is a brilliant imitator. She sees things, she connects with them, and she makes it her own, but she don't really be believing half of the stuff that she be saying. Because if she did, she'll be killing interviews. And that's what you need to bring about actual change. You can't just get up and do a performance, because people need that talk back. After you see a play, after you see a production, They want to have talk back after it's over with. They want to have interviews with you to promote the movie because because you got to sell that shit to them. People start concocting their own stories in their mind and interpreting things the way that they want to interpret because you haven't told them what your real intentions was for making the art. We know what her real intentions are, though. If we're being honest, it's to get money. She came from money. She know money. She didn't grow up poor. She came from money. And what do you do when you come from money? Get more of it. Beyonce, to me, reminds me so much of the American government. So much of the American government that is ridiculous. Because the American government is like this. All of a sudden, 10, 15 years ago, 2009, 2008, 2009, the government, when Obama got in office, the government started seeing it for trans people. They started giving gay people and trans people a little bit more leeway. Then they really started opening the door for trans people. And here we thought, America sees us. America loves us. America is a beautiful. We thought that. We believed that. The whole time, America said, I could make some money off these. They getting this black market silicone. We can give them the implants and charge them thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, just like with weed, just like with drugs on the street. They took weed. They sent buku dudes to jail for selling weed, and now the government found a way to get weed so that they could capitalize off it. The government was losing a bag. There was money. It was a underbelly. It was an underworld that they wasn't able to tax. The silicone workers didn't have to pay taxes. The girls was going overseas getting their surgeries. Those tax dollars were not going to America. The girls was getting their moans and stuff. That shit was not taxable. The government said we're losing money because we can't tax this shit. We can't profit off this shit. It's happening, and it's happening. The population is growing. Their community is growing. The numbers are growing. These girls is going overseas, getting these surgeries. These girls is getting all this stuff, and we cannot tax this. We need to find a way. All of a sudden, the tipping point came. Laverne Cox became the token of the American token of the community. She became the figurehead, the mascot for transness. And then all of a sudden we had a seat at the table and we was accepted. And the ones that were promoted were the ones that were physically transitioning, because we know if you medically transition, that's a bag. That's a bag. We want you medical transition. Then now that it's got so far that the little children getting carried away, it's spilled over. Now Donald Trump used that as his platform to wiggle in. But if the American government wasn't so greedy in the first fucking place, shit wouldn't have got to this point. Because if y'all really cared about the trans community, y'all would not have been centering only medically transitioned trans people from the beginning. And the way they did that shit was so diabolical. The ones that were not medically transitioned were still able to piggyback on the trans title, but them motherfuckers said they was non-binary. And a lot of non-binary people is just cis thinking, cis heterosexual thinking that low-key hate the ones that's physically transitioning. But they come in, they think they superior because they don't have to physically transition. And they come into the community and they're ops. Some of them non-binaries. They ops for the cis heterosexual community. And they done infiltrated under the guise of being non-binary. See, y'all ain't letting authentic trans people. Is y'all carefully curating your little bots and your ops in our movement. You carefully curating them. You gonna get the girls that's super surged, that's super programmed, that's super parakeets, that's trying to blend in, that's dying to be accepted by cishet culture, that's dying to be accepted by the binary. You're gonna either have a girl like that who gonna parakeet everything and try to blend in perfectly and want to live want to piggyback off of cis heterosexual life. Then you gonna have a non-binary person that secretly hate trans people who medically transition and think that they superior because they haven't made any physical changes, but they gonna get up and they gonna spew a whole bunch of language that they learned from the colonizer. They gonna know every letter in the alphabet. They gonna know every colonizer word that's made to talk about our community, and they gonna use that to oppress everybody. Cishet privilege disguised as non-binary. Oh, bitch, I'm on all of it. Oh, bitch, because I've been making my rounds, bitch. Bitch, let me tell you what my spirit is. Let me show you. This bitch, this who the fuck I am, bitch. Bitch, this how I been in the village. Hold on. Bitch, this me. Where is that thing there? Bitch, y'all, you know I'm a performing artist, bitch. I got to perform this, bitch. Bitch, this me, bitch. This how I've been for the past 10 years, bitch. This how I've been moving through the community. Bitch, this how I be in them streets. So you say the non-binary is what? You say the trans is what? Oh, you say it's what? Oh, okay. Bitch, I've been moving through the community like this for the past 10 years, bitch. Bitch, getting all the tea, bitch. Getting all the tea, bitch. Bitch, I'm a shapeshifter, bitch. I've been moving. Oh, bitch. You can't tell me, bitch, because I know. Because I've been talking to you. Bitch, I heard you say it out your own mouth, bitch. I wasn't code switching. Bitch, I genuinely have it all in me. I've been working on myself to have it all in me, bitch. I ain't code switch. I made up my own language. And I said it how I wanted to say it. And I said it what was real. Bitch, I was just like this. Bitch, I was in Africa like this. Bitch, learning over there. Seeing how they was moving over there. Seeing what the tea was over there, bitch. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Everybody say, and I got on this black cape to describe what it's been like not conforming to what the expectation is of blackness. When you wear face paint, when you wear your kinky hair, when you let facial hair grow in your face, when you do the things that I've done that don't align with the binary, you know what that makes you to white people? You know what that makes you to white people who are people who are trying to pass as white, people who are trying to access white privilege. You know how you look to them? So while y'all thought I was crazy, there's a method to my madness. I was investigating. You know how when the royals, you know how when the royals wanted to find out what was going on in the village and they didn't want to bring a lot of attention to themselves, what would they do? Bitch, when you want to go out and you don't want to bring a lot of attention to yourself, bitch, that's the real stealth. That's the real stealth. The real stealth is resting in your full negritude, everything that comes with it. If it bring a little facial hair, if it's some kinky hair, if it's some tribal paint, because people look at you as crazy. They look at you as if you got something wrong with you. They don't understand you. They look at you as a bum. And so you become this to them. You become invisible, bitch. TS investigator. Okay. Baby, I was researching the findings, baby. I was doing my research, baby. I had to go out. I had to go out and do my research, honey. Making moves, right? They gonna learn today exactly. Come on, MA. Non-binary equals quirky cishet people. Ooh, you better talk about it. Yep, I remember. Aaron said not one filmed interview in years. Exactly. Dispensary heaven. Exactly. They found a way to get that money and capitalize that shit. Not one interview filmed, and we just not gonna talk about that. We just not gonna talk about how this woman done built a brand of that magnitude, and then and have all of these people out here pontificating about her as if everything that she does is for the movement, the forward movement of black culture. But this is what we're gonna do a candle today. But this is what I want to leave y'all with. What is black culture at this point? When the best we have to offer as a candidate is as a black candidate was Kamala Harris, and Kamala is literally documented on multiple times saying she was Indian. And then all of a sudden, she started saying she was black, and everybody was like, she's a black woman, she's a black woman. So, what is black culture when you could go from saying you one race 4 or 5 years earlier to saying that you're black? What is black culture when it can so easily be infiltrated? Like, literally, a white person can go and tan their skin A white person who's able to really tan, they could go and perm their hair, and they could go tan their skin, and they could say my daddy black, and y'all would let them in. What is black culture? What is it that we defending? What is it that we talking about right now? What is it? What is black culture? Cause I know that's why I've been creating my own. Cause I honestly don't know. I'm not gonna never deny my melanin. That's why I say I'm black indigenous. That's why I don't never deny I'm never gonna deny my negritude. I am honored to have had this experience. I'm honored to have had this experience exactly in the way that I've had it. Let's be clear. Which I love my melanin. I love it. But what is this black culture that y'all talking about for the culture? What is it? What is it? When you could have somebody like Kamala Harris, who clearly has publicly said that she was Indian for years, then all of a sudden turn around and say, then y'all tried to say because she went to a HBCU. There are Caucasian students who go to HBCUs. HBCUs are no longer exclusively for black people. They center black people, but they're no longer exclusively for black people. Well, they have traumatized the culture. She's a Virgo. They go along with the bullshit, especially if a man is involved and they're making money. She's a quiet capitalist. Hmm. And she's used to money. And now she got 3 children. We know she family orientated. Cause baby, Tina still running her life. So we know family first. And I don't have a problem with that, honestly. I respect it. I just wish that you could be a little bit more honest about who you were personally. And stop letting people make up ideas of who you are. Beyonce is the perfect Bible story. People read it and they get what they want out of it when the truth is something completely different. They stole this from somewhere else. This story is older than this. This story means something totally different. Like the 12 disciples was really about the planets. Beyonce is a perfect example of a Bible story. People are allowed to take from her story and come and the machine is brilliant at, because she doesn't speak, she could allow the people who want to capitalize off of her, who know how to run this machine, who know how to navigate this machine. They take her content and they put it out in a way that feeds people this idea that, oh, she really doing this, oh, she uplifting the car. Like, I haven't seen the NFL concert yet, but everybody's talking about how she paid homage to black cowboys. This is no tea, no shade. This is no tea, no shade. But this is my opinion of cowboys. This is my opinion. My opinion. I think that cowboys were the first sellouts. I think that cowboys were the first shift from being connected to the land. Like that was the first signs of assimilation. That was when the indigenous people began to assimilate. You went from walking on side of this horse to running with these horses to sitting on top of these horses. And y'all know I've done a video sitting on top of a horse. So this is not me putting down where when we stepped into this whole society thing. I'm just playing the whole tape. I'm being honest about how I see it. The cowboys were when we betrayed nature, when we began to betray nature for society, when we began to say, I want to participate in civilization. I want to be, to me, that's what the cowboys represent in this nation. That's what the energy represents for me. A shift from us being more connected to nature, being more considerate of nature, to us thinking more about ourselves and how we can manipulate nature and bend nature to our will. It marks the moment when we jumped up on top of the horses. For me. For me. And so when we honor that cowboy narrative, that's the conversation that I feel like we're not having as black people, we're not having as black indigenous people, that the cowboy represents the shift. That's when we started playing with guns. That's when we started getting involved in war over money. And that's when we started chasing after material things. That's when, that's when we became these people that were more obsessed with civilization, so obsessed with civilization that we began to lose our connection to nature. That's what the cowboy era represents for me. It represents the shift. It represents that shift. And so, like, literally, cowboys wore cowhide. They wore leather. Like, they were using animal skins, eating animal, riding up on horses. Like, it became about slaughtering for material, for aesthetic, for just for look. Like, it wasn't like when Indians would kill, they killed to have something they needed to eat. They wanted warmth, or if they got into a battle with an animal that was trying to kill them, then they would take the horns as a symbol of, or take something from the animal as a symbol of the battle that they survived. And part of me feels like it was to remember. But if I'm playing the whole tape, I know that consciousness had to shift within the indigenous movement for the cowboy movement to even be birthed. And so there were indigenous beings or aboriginous beings who were on some fuck shit. And that's how the cowboy era was able to be birthed. Because, and I have ideas about all of that. I have ideas about all that. I personally feel like it's too much breeding happening. That's just, and people probably gonna get mad at me for saying this, because it's like, you're not wanting, it's like, it sounds like I'm saying I don't want life to be born. Like, I don't, but I look at things differently. I don't think that this is the only place that we exist. I don't think that when a baby is aborted, that's over for them. I think that their energy goes somewhere else. And my prayer, and I would hope that people would begin to pray, that their energy would shift somewhere that would be more welcoming, that would be more beautiful, that would be more worthy of their energy, that a place where they could flourish. Because I don't believe that energy dies. I believe that it's just transmuted and transformed. And so because I have that idea, I don't look at death or look at abortion or look at those things in the same way that other people look at them. Other people who are just fixated on this reality and this all and you just stuck in the 3 dimension, you in quicksand, and this all you know, this all you think about. Okay, if someone dies, if a family member dies or if a baby aborted, oh, that's wrong, that's so horrible, that's horrible, that's wrong. That's not how I see it. That's just not how I look at things. And so when I say certain things, you have to understand that I'm saying this as a person who believes in reincarnation. I'm saying this as a person who don't believe that this reality is all that it is, that this dimension is all that it is. I'm speaking from that space. And so I do believe that the Aborigine or indigenous people, because consciousness was being split up so much, through constantly procreating in this way, after our DNA had been spliced up and the beings, the beings that were self-repelled weren't walking amongst us, and it was just all of this DNA constantly being spliced up. Now you got all these different ideas, all these different, and so when the more you split up, the more division you're going to have, because the more it births these different waves of consciousness. And so the Cowboys was this wave of consciousness where we no longer saw ourselves as a part of the animal kingdom, but we saw ourselves as superior to the animal kingdom. And the shift happened because indigenous people made totems of animals. You see this shift end when the cowboy era begins. Cowboys did not make totems of animals. Animal totems were gone. That's when we started putting human faces on money. That's when we started worshiping humans. So there was clearly a shift from what we honored and what we felt connected to when the cowboy era began, because the war between the cowboys and the Indians, it showed you the Indians were more connected. The Indians were looked at as savage. The indigenous people were looked at as savages. The cowboys were trying to become civilized, even though their path to being civilized was blood, was violence, was domination. Black culture is a toxic soup of hypocrisy and nonsense. Beyonce will most likely be Jesus level status of idolatry in a couple of 100 years. They definitely gonna make her what they want her to be. They trying to now. Exactly how you go from agriculture and architecture that lines up with celestial bodies to wrangling cows with ropes. We became more invested in our oppression. We were duped. We were tricked. And it was all for what we thought was convenience. But convenience is literally what is making us slaves. Autonomy don't come free. Sovereignty don't come free. Sovereignty, it does not come free. Autonomy does not come free. Baby, you gotta stand with nature, and nature can be very unpredictable. And humans didn't want to do that anymore. They wanted to create a bubble for themselves where they could control it. And the unfortunate thing about that is if that is the energy and the spirit from which this was created, then it's always gonna be somebody trying to conquer you. And you gave consent to it because you stepped away from the natural order of things. You gave consent to participate. You gave consent to step into this bubble. And we talking about redemption for black people. We talking about redemption for black people. We talking about reparations for black people. Do you know how many animals have been booted off of their land so we can have metropolitan cities like New York, so that we can have metropolitan, like they continue to build up land and run animals off their land? Baby, black people ain't the only one that's owed something. When the ancestors get ready to move and they get ready to shift, it's gonna be redemption for every animal that has been displaced so that we could build up this motherfucking matrix. Every living entity that has had to be booted out of its natural habitat so that we could create this fuckery. See, a lot of us have tunnel vision and we think that this is just about us. Because you've lost your connection to the trees and you've lost your connection to the animals. You've forgotten who you were, and you've forgotten your divine spark and how that ties you with everything. You've become seduced by the box and you're in a bubble in your mind. But when redemption comes, it's going to be for all of the pollution in the ocean. It's going to be for every animal that has been displaced for construction, to build up buildings that serve man. It's going to be for every creature that has had to be displaced or harmed to build up what we have now. It's not just about black people. This shit is bigger than Nino Brown. But I want to read this one more time before I read the rest of the comments. Eric said, exactly how you go from agricultural and architectural and architecture that lines up with celestial bodies to wrangling cows with ropes. It was the DNA, the de-evolution. Like, it was really like, that was that era where we really stepped into becoming, like, that was when, because I don't think the Indians was calling themselves men and women. I think the indigenous people called themselves other names, and those other names allowed them to feel more connected and to feel less bound by a label. To like they didn't use language that bound them into one particular construct. And so I think cowboy, just that name, is even a reduction from being a man. Cowboy, like, you're not even a man anymore, you're a boy. So it's a spell that diminishes you and pushes you further into a construct. Cowboy. Thousands upon thousands of years on the planet, and now you're associating yourself with a title that has diminished you even more. Shit is crazy. That's a really good point, Kaneen. I didn't even know we were cowboys until Solange's fourth album. Right. And I mean, I kind of, because I used to watch cowboy movies when I was little. And even though they wouldn't show black people as cowboys, as soon as I got old enough to realize that black people had pretty much did everything first. Like, black people were pretty much the first colonizers. Like, as soon as I, realized that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we was probably cowboys too. And we was probably beefing with each other, and that was how, you know, the indigenous people really got beat out was the black people who was ready to shift from being in nature and being a part of nature, and had been brainwashed um to see nature as savage. Like, I know I hear stories about how they used to like sacrifice, you know, virgins and stuff to volcanoes, and you know, and sacrifice them on the steps of the and you know, and that when conquerors would come in, they would use that as an excuse to, you know, and I don't think that motherfuckers should be around here like, I don't understand the whole, you know, high priestesses sacrificing your children. Like, bitch, sacrifice your own children. Like, sacrifice yourself, ho. Like, and then somebody else step up and be willing to make that sacrifice. But don't be around here sacrificing people's children. So, you know, like, if that's what they was doing, I don't think no ancestors or no deities told you to do that. If they told you to do that, you should have killed yourself and hope that you was gonna be a good enough sacrifice. Cause if I'm worshiping a spirit and the spirit tell me I need you to go and sacrifice your baby cousin, that's the only way the spell gonna work. Bitch, I'ma say, well, how about I kill myself? Is that gonna be a good enough offering for you? Cause if this is the only way, if you just need some blood, then take mine. But bitch, I'm not finna be around here killing babies for you. We were mixing with Hindu and Mongoloid people. Mmm. I agree. I feel the same with Buffalo Soldiers. They were used to kill off native people, and Buffalo still come, still choose to align themselves with their oppressors and mimic barbarianism. Come on now. 100%. Hey, I am that I am. And the Cowboys are America's team, no matter how much they lose. Now see that right there? That just brought that to a whole nother level. Because when you think about it, that is the group. That's they were crucial in the shift. And Beyonce taking this season of her life to highlight that and to acknowledge that, it's like black people be so happy to get recognition. They don't play the whole tape. Like, you're not doing the work, baby. You so invested in this matrix, you can't see beyond, none of it. Like, you so invested in this matrix. Like, black people be so happy just to have something, not because they don't teach black history in school. But exactly what are they teaching though, baby? Like, I'm not fucked up about them not teaching black history in schools. Cause what y'all gonna teach? Y'all gonna teach how we was oppressors? Y'all gonna teach how we was colonizers? Y'all gonna teach how we willfully participated? Y'all gonna tell that story? Cause the only story that y'all been telling is how we was turned into slaves, how we was so happy to be a part of Massa Plantation that we started building gadgets and gadgets galore, and we started building thingamabobs of plenty for Massa so we could get his approval. So and so and so and so invented the so and so for patriarchy. So and so and so and so invented the so and so for white supremacy. So and so and so and so invented the so and so for capitalism. So and so and so and so invented the so and so for for the American society. So and so and so and so gave his talents and his gifts to further push forward the oppressor's foot on his neck. Which I'm tired of hearing those stories. Tell me the stories about the black folks that didn't give a fuck about this shit, didn't want nothing to do with this shit, was happy living on their farms, was happy living on their land in the woods, at one with nature, knew how to talk to the birds, knew how to talk to the snakes, knew how to talk to the wolves, knew how to talk to the foxes, knew how to survive everywhere. Tell me about them niggas. Tell me about the niggas who knew how to talk to the mosquitoes and get the mosquitoes not to bite them. Tell me the niggas who knew how to sing songs that would make bugs stay out of their house, that knew how to make sounds that would make the bugs leave and not bother them while they slept on the grass at night. Tell me the about the beings that had the vibrational tunes and the patterns that when an animal came up and was about to eat them, the animal would instinctively know you don't want to fuck with this one and would like tilt his head down and go somewhere else. Tell me about them niggas. I want to, because I know they existed. Tell me about the niggas that could swim deep down in the water and breathe for 20 minutes underwater and could swim 2 miles beneath. Tell me about them niggas. Because I'm tired of hearing about these niggas that's wrapped up, tied up, bound up, and weaved into white supremacy, colonization, patriarchy. I'm tired of hearing about these. I'm tired of hearing about these niggas. I'm tired of hearing about these niggas. I'm ready to deprogram, decolonize, and evolve. I'm ready to hear about the niggas that was out there when they put their hands in the ground and they put a seed in the ground. When they grew a tree, the tree grew tall and strong and fruit. And for years and years, they were able to eat off their land. And they didn't have to go looking for animals to kill. They didn't have to go looking for people to kill, and they could say words, they could make sounds, they could speak to the elements, and that would protect them and shield them, and you wouldn't even see, like when they didn't want to be seen, they wouldn't be seen, they were protected. Girl, is that a booger? It was something. We're gonna be all right. Y'all pretend like y'all didn't see that. But yeah. Girl, wait, let me see. It's right in our face. It's right in our face. That's the disgusting part. And it's right in our face. Look, and look, I read that comment after I was talking about this booger. I said, it's right in our face, and that's the disgusting part. Right, it was right in my face. But let me, I know that wasn't what you was talking about, though. But, George Washington Carver was talking to plants at 5 a.m. in the morning. They were scared of him. Because maybe we could talk. Let me tell you something. I have a green thumb, and I inherited from my ancestors. I know I can make plants grow because I literally have done it. Like I've watched my ability to make plants grow, and I know how to talk to them and sing to them. And that's why living in New York is really like, that's the difficult part for me, because I'm used to being around nature. I'm used to acknowledging nature and being in this. It's like, but I understand that this is a season of my life where I have to go further into the belly of the beast in order to accomplish the goal that I have set for me. And one of the things that I want to accomplish while I'm here, and I'm going to go ahead and say it on live because one of my sisters, actually confirmed it for me. One of the things that I've been wanting to do and I've been afraid to do it is I've wanted to do stand-up comedy. And I think that stand-up comedy is a powerful thing because it's like testing consciousness. Because most people, when they've been doing the work, or sometimes you'll just catch them off guard. But if someone has been doing the work, they can laugh at the truth. Also, if someone knows something is the truth, they may laugh unexpectedly because they're not expecting for you to expose that truth. And so that is the work that I want to do. I want to help more people to heal by getting us to by exposing the truth and exposing that, because once you laugh, you felt it. Once you laugh, you know where the fuck, you know deep down inside. Because most of the time when you laugh, it's an ancient ancestor in you that will bust out laughing. It's the ancestor in you that know this some bullshit and know you around here playing games, know you around here stunting, and one of them old spirits in you will bust out laughing. Cause that old ancestor be like, that's the truth. And that old ancestor gonna laugh through you. You ain't gonna even, it's like you don't have, it's like you involuntarily laughing. You didn't wanna laugh. You got caught off guard. You had your game face on, but somebody said some shit that you know the truth deep down inside. You know it's the truth. And you didn't expect a bitch, you didn't expect nobody to say that. You didn't expect, you thought nobody was in a place in conscience to say that. And that's why you laughing. Some of us, we laugh out of routine. We laugh because we know, oh, everybody laughing. We gonna do a fake laugh. But you know when it's a laugh from the soul, because you don't even sound like yourself when you laugh. You sound like somebody. When a motherfucker let out a laugh from them that you haven't heard. Remember when Oprah Winfrey laughed in motherfucking when Oprah Winfrey laughed in The Color Purple, when she was acting like she was dead, and motherfucking Whoopi Goldberg stood up for herself, and motherfucking and Pappy was talking that shit, and Oprah bust out laughing. That was one of them old ancestors coming through her. And that's what I want to bring to the world. I want to bring a Moms Mabley type of, I want to bring a spiritual wisdom. I want to bring that, bitch, you was trying not to laugh. You didn't want to laugh. Bitch, you was caught off guard. I think that that's a way that I could heal people. I think that I could use it as medicine to help heal people and to help create the shift that I want to see. And that's one of the reasons why I have not been able to leave New York. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous though about going to get on stage, because I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth when I get on stage. That's why I'm trying to think. I think the problem that I have been running into is like scripted material. Like, I know it's a lot of shit I could say, and like if you notice, I've been being very intentional about making funny, like making videos where I'm being funny, but I'm teaching at the same time, and I've been intentionally making them short videos so that when I need the content, I could go back and be like, okay, da 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 da. I could go back and be like, bam, 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 bam. Like, remember what I said and remember exactly how I said it. So that's one of the reasons why lately you've seen me putting out content where I've been being very precise and concise and talking about something and sticking to it and trying to make it short and sweet, because I'm training my mind to be able to be able to do stand up. Like, that's part of me trying to program myself, because I'm a person who likes to go all over the place and who will take you on a journey. And I do realize that the audiences that I'm going to be dealing with is not going to be my people on live. Y'all can go with me on that journey. Y'all can follow me because y'all been doing it for years. But if I'm walking into a room for the first time, I can't go and take people all around the mulberry bush and expect them to be able to stick with me. So I realize that I'm gonna have to be able to be bam, 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 but I want to be authentic. I don't want to be I don't want to not be myself. I don't want to say shit I don't believe in simply because I know it's going to profit me or because I know it's going to get me heard or seen. I want to be saying things that are real to me and things that are true to me, but I want them to have impact. Like, I want people to laugh off guard. I want people to not be prepared because that's the type of laughter I want. I want the laughter that exposes the truth. Them the chuckles I'm coming for. Them the chuckles my ancestors have sent me to collect. I want them off guard chuckles. Cause them gonna be the chuckles that's gonna liberate. They just gonna play us and talk about peanuts. Wait a minute, wait a minute. They didn't talk about the fact he scared the fuck out of him, huh, Eric? I don't know what happened to his parents, but I know them crackers castrated George Washington Carver and had him sleeping in a barn because they didn't want him around their white daughters. Oh my goodness, I never heard that part of the story. 100% goddamn. I didn't know that. They trying to keep us urban. You would eat stand up. Thank you. That's why the whites love Pryor and Paul Mooney. Mm-hmm. That's who I wanna be like I think that I have the capacity to be at the level of a Richard Pryor because Richard Pryor was so profound and so Richard Pryor did introspection. Like, people try to make that people try to give Cat Williams that, but Cat Williams, where he missed me is he talk about all of the books that he's read. He talks about how intelligent he is and how many books he's read. First of all, if you always been bragging on how many books you read, that's already a side eye for me. But for you to have all this knowledge and for you to subscribe to a patriarchy or religion and for you to run around with a big cross on your neck and for you to talk about, Father God, and for you to do that, that lets me know that you are a part of the Illuminati too. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. The language that you use and how you talk and around here trying to expose men who sleep with other men and like that, you are just a carefully placed op. You are another op. And so while, I used to love Cat Williams just like I used to love Lil Boosie. I used to love them because I could hear the journey in their words. I could hear the journey in their voices. They both have very familiar voices. And Cat Williams gives you a almost androgynous voice at times. And Lil Boosie gives you an almost androgynous voice at times. And so I resonated with that and I resonated with those voices. But now Lil Boosie, he feeds into the tropes, trying to fit into patriarchy, trying to fit into capitalism, trying to find his place in white supremacy and the brotherhood. And Cat Williams gives me all that same energy too. And so I wouldn't put Cat Williams on a level that I would put a Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor for me was iconic. After Richard Pryor, I would probably say, I don't give a fuck how much crazy shit Dave Chappelle have said. Dave Chappelle is funny as hell. Dave Chappelle is funny as hell. I just gotta say it. Now, Richard Pryor, not Richard Pryor, but Eddie Murphy, he has a different kind of genius. Although, I watched Sonic Hedgehog lately and I saw Jim Carrey in that again. And, like I'm gonna say this about Tyler Perry, Jim Carrey, and Eddie Murphy. Like I could play multiple characters, but at some point, child, it just feels like you just trying to save money on a budget. Like it's just giving you want to pay yourself more. Like I played this role, I played this role, I played this role. I'm gonna pay myself for all of these roles. It's giving, like when Eddie Murphy did the clumps, you just try to pay yourself multiple times for every character that you played. At some point, it's giving me you just being greedy. You just want more money for yourself. Like I want to say you talented. I want to say wow you did that. But then at a certain point, it's like okay now, like so the characters is cute because I could see myself doing character skits. I went into character in this live. So I could definitely see myself doing character skits, but I wouldn't want to abuse that. I think it's very good to be able to stand on your own as just, from your communication. And I feel like that's what makes Eddie Murphy a strong comedian is his ability to go into character. Dave Chappelle does not need to go into character. Dave Chappelle can go into character, but Dave Chappelle can make you laugh without changing character. Dave Chappelle can make you tell the truth on yourself because that's what laughter is. Laughter is you telling the truth on yourself. The power to compel you, bitch. Ma'am, sir, whole one. Y'all know I said I was working on all them female pronouns and them feminine pronouns. So I'm gonna be doing that. Whole ones. Whole ones? Study Mooney because he wrote a lot of Pryor's early material. Oh wow. And I heard that. And what was so Mooney was trying to have Richard Pryor, or was it the other way around? But Mooney didn't care what came out his mouth. I love Mooney, and I love um I said her name, Mom's Mabley. I'm gonna have to watch that Mooney analyze it. Is that the name of it? Analyzing White America. I think Cat is just like the rest of them in Hollywood. He's a pawn as well. How do you talk about men in dresses, but you walking around with a perm? He's feminine without the dress. I needed a moment. Bitch, you read the fuck out of Cat. How do you talk about men in dresses and you run around here with a perm? A neatly, a knee perm, a neatly trimmed perm, a perm that you wore for decades. Just like the rest of them in Hollywood, right? I remember Cat Williams used to go by Cat in the Hat and be on Comic View. I think I remember that too. 100% pure love. But yeah, I would love to break into comedy. I'm trying to figure out, like, I think I'm struggling with which outlet. Like I don't like. I'm thinking in 2025, should I first just focus on comedy reels, like just do solely comedy reels and just stick to them, and just like leave my other content alone for a little while and just like focus on going viral doing comedy reels, or should I actually go out to physical nightclubs and perform stand up comedy, or like should it be a mixture of both? Jail, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I am excited. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all can tell, you see the way my face is lighting up. This is something that I've been thinking about for years. And one of my girlfriends just randomly, who's a very spiritual person, she came in my inbox the other day and she was like, you need to do stand up comedy. Like, we are ready for it. Like, and that was literally the reason why I've been procrastinating, is because I don't feel like the world is ready. Like, that's been the part, like, but when I get on stage and I'm not even trying to be funny, but when I get on stage and I'm not even trying to be funny, I always make people laugh. Like, people are always laughing. Like, sometimes I be like, bitch, you hoes is playing with me because, bitch, I wasn't even trying to be funny. Like sometimes I feel played because I'm like, bitch, I wasn't even, like, I'm serious. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, so, so I already know, like, I'm always cracking people up. Like, I think the problem why I have been fighting going into stand up too is because I don't want to be viewed as a clown. Like, take me seriously. Don't be around here. Like, I think part of that was pride. It was like, bitch, I'm not your clown. You already got a clown. The community already has a clown. Cosplaying trans, bitch, you not my sis. Cosplaying trans, bitch, you not my sis. Katie is in a delusional state. Oh, not Katie. Not from Cat to Katie. Not Katie's delusional. Not a delusional Katie. Not Katie is the Lulu. Katie is the Lulu. Okay, child, I'm about to get me something to eat. You should just try it going on stage. Pop thine cherry. Yeah, because I go on stage for open mics and stuff like that, so it's like go on the stage at a comedy club. Like, I definitely feel like I don't know if I'm gonna wait till the winter is over to do it, because I may, like, just go and like research some comedy clubs when it warm up just a little, like closer to the spring. Because I do know that next month I'm gonna be in Georgia for um I'm going to Georgia for like a month. Then I gotta go to Louisiana for about 2 weeks. So my life is kind of like on hold right now, because I'm thinking about going back to the workforce and getting like a 9 to 5, like to really, really continue to support my, my art, to support Laylim Layler. Um, but I have some traveling to do, so I'm gonna be in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and I'm gonna be in Georgia next month, just because I haven't been back to Georgia in months, and I miss my sister and the boys. Yeah, I definitely. Ethan made me feel so good. Like, that's one of the my little nephews, like my little god nephews. He reached out to me and he was like, Kaneen, and it was and he was like, I miss you, and I was like, I miss you too. And I said, well, I'm gonna come visit next month. So when I go and visit, I miss the dogs. I miss all of them, because I haven't been back to Georgia in what, like 3 months. Like it's been about 3 months. So yeah, I want to go, to Georgia and spend some time. And then once I go to Georgia and I get a chance to spend some time, then I'm gonna bring my art back here. Then that's when I'm gonna like focus on, like, if I'm, like starting the stand up comedy, like getting a job, like what kind of job I want to get. Like I'm gonna focus on all of that, but I still have a little bit more traveling that I need to do at the top of the year. So, tomorrow is, um, in this calendar that we've been made up. This calendar that we made up. Tomorrow is New Year's. I am going to acknowledge the new year, but this is really not the new year for me. If I'm being totally honest, the new year for me is gonna start around spring. When the sun comes back closer to the earth and the days become longer again. Right now, this is, all of this where the sun is still far away from the earth. I still look at all of this as still like the ending of a cycle because the sun has not come back. The days haven't lengthened again. So right now for me, tomorrow is not a new year for me because we're starting off the new year in more darkness. And so for me, that doesn't feel like the starting of a new year. I think that when a new year starts, it should start with having more light. And so for me, I feel like the new year starts closer to around March. That's just how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm acknowledging it. I want to wish y'all a happy 2025 because that's when 2025 starts. But I do not think that it's the end of a cycle. I don't think that the cycle is going to end until after February, because that's, when we have Mardi Gras, and then even in certain religions, they have Lent after Mardi Gras, and they start fasting, and then you got your spring solstice coming in March, and so right around Lent and right around spring solstice, that's where I feel like the year actually starts. And so you see people doing little rituals that let you know what time it is just by how you see in New Orleans the Catholics have Lent after Mardi Gras. They go out and they do all the debauchery and cut up, and then they have Lent after Mardi Gras where they fast. And then we have the spring solstice coming, and then daylight savings comes back. Like the days start getting longer. And so for me, that's more of the beginning of another cycle. To me, esoterically, celestially, that's the beginning of another cycle. So, this year I am not, I didn't participate in any Christmas festivities. I stayed inside by myself. I traveled on Christmas Eve. I was by myself on Christmas Day. I ate like one time. I think I had like a can of soup and some crackers, just to put something on my stomach that day. But I didn't, like participate in any of the Christmas food and all that type of stuff. And the next day I kind of did the same thing. I was very mindful of what I ate. I ate very light. I ate very light the day before. Um, I didn't get caught up in that. I try not to get caught up in that this year. And I'm going to become more serious about that as time goes by. I don't want to hang out with people for New Year's, but I am going to call people and say Happy 2025. I'm going to check on my loved ones and be like, Happy 2025. I'll be like, but I'm not doing all of that, going out and party and turning up because it's the new year. I'm not doing all that. I'm be in my house chilling. It's going to be another day, but I'm gonna do my fast, probably right. I'm gonna do another fast right around Mardi Gras, be mindful, and start my fast right after Mardi Gras, and to prepare for the spring because to me, that's really when the shift is happening. Amen, amen. But I have a candle lit. This candle represents the past, the present, and the future. Oh, it's already blowing. Let me light it again. Oh no, let's do. We're gonna go ahead and do the purple candle. I hadn't been messing with her because she had cut my finger the last time. But since this is the last day of 2024, let's do a purple candle. So this candle represents the past, the present, and the future. It represents the mother, the father, the offspring. It represents dark and light and in between. As I blow out this candle on the physical plane, it grows with intensity on the spiritual plane, preparing us for times that are now. This candle represents the ancestors who are here, the ancestors who have come, and the ancestors who will come. Thank you, fire. Thank you, earth. Thank you, water. Thank you, air. Thank you, heart. Down by the name that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning. Ian Gani, Iyanko, Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God goddess. And if I am, you know you are. Bound and round, both circle and square. We too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair. Il Babosawa, which means we come in peace. No harm to any. Lelim, lela, lela, lelim. We can both live on inside of her and him. Y'all be well and enjoy your 2025. But remember, the cycle does not end until the winter ends. Then that's when a new cycle begins in Laylim Layler culture. But take care of yourself and be well. And until next time, I may go live tomorrow. I don't know. But y'all know I'm going to be putting out some type of content, honey. I'm going to be putting out some type of snickers and giggles for y'all. Because maybe I be in here bored. I still haven't had any penetrative sex since I've been back in New York. Any penetrative. I'm not going to say that I haven't let somebody lick it, but I haven't let nobody stick it yet. I'm trying to be very, very, very mindful and demure about who I let into this house. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you for the purple hearts. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Later.